struggled with injuries, which, combination of that could have driven the price down. But with the Tyreek Hill trade, Miami suddenly had receivers who were expendable, and this happened to be Parker this time around. To the NBA now. After being optimistic about the situation, Nets head coach Steve Nash has told reporters that Ben Simmons will not play this regular season. Simmons was acquired in a trade with the Philadelphia 76ers earlier this season and has not appeared for a game this year for either team. Brooklyn is currently 41-38 with 3 games remaining on the schedule. They will be playing in the Eastern Conference's play-in tournament, but the seeding is still pretty fluid with those 3 games returning the 4 teams in that bracket pretty close together. The team is still hopeful that they can have Simmons available at some point in the postseason, depending on how far they advance. The play-in starts April 12th and will last through the 15th, while round 1 will kick off on April 16th. The 10 teams in the East are set. The top 6 will be some combination of Miami, Boston, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Toronto, and Chicago. Boston, Milwaukee, and Philadelphia all currently have the same record, so there's still some shuffling to do there. Cleveland, Brooklyn, Atlanta, and Charlotte will be playing in the play-in, and Charlotte, Brooklyn, and Atlanta are all within a game of each other, so there's still stuff to be worked out there. In the West, the Lakers have been eliminated. Phoenix has clinched the number 1 seed. Memphis currently has a pretty good grip on the number 2. Golden State, Dallas, Utah all follow that. Denver is the 6th seed right now. 2 games ahead of Minnesota is the 7th seed with 2 games left to play for each of them. The Clippers, Pelicans, Spurs are all clinched in the play-in. There's just a matter of seeding. San Antonio will play either Minnesota or Denver. The Clippers will play New Orleans as of right now, and New Orleans and San Antonio could still flip-flop each other. In the NHL playoffs, it starts a little later. It's further away, May 2nd. Florida and Colorado have the 2 best records in the NHL and have clinched playoff berths in their respective conferences. In the East, the Atlantic Division, you have Florida, Toronto, and Tampa all in. Right now, in the Metropolitan, you have Carolina, the Rangers, and the Pittsburgh Penguins, with the Boston Bruins and the Washington Capitals as the wild cards. Boston is technically tied with Tampa. They both have 93 points. Each team has about 8, 9, 10, 11 games. I'll call it 9 to 11 games left. And those are really the only teams left in contention out there. The West, the Central, you have Colorado, Minnesota, and St. Louis. The Pacific, you have Calgary, Edmonton, and the Los Angeles Kings, with the Nashville Predators and Dallas Stars, both from Central Division, as the wild card. That's a change from last week because Dallas was on the outside looking in behind Vegas, who is 1 point behind Dallas now, but Dallas has played 2 fewer games, so you would much rather want to be the Stars right now. And there are no other teams in the West that are really in legitimate contention there. Well, that's all for this edition of the Travis on Sports podcast. Obviously, it was a much busier week than last week, but we fit everything in. Thank you again for listening and tuning into the show. Please follow, like, subscribe, keep track of us on social media, on the podcasting networks, and I'll be back again next week with another episode.